to Mexico.
Are you on the tour?
I'm on the tour.
Yeah, we are too. We are too.
Okay,
How do
guys.
you like Mexico?
ኦኬ አሁን ቱሩ ተጀመረ። ጋይዳችንን ይዘን እየሄድን ነው። ቀጥታ ስትመጡ ትሬን ስቴሽን አያችሁት፣ ፓርክ ስትሪት አለ እዛ ጋር። ከዚህ ጋር ወርዳችሁ ነው ከዛ ወደዛ የምትሄዱት ማለት ነው። ሲዳ እነዚህ ሁሉ አይ ቲንክ ይመስለኛል ቱሪስቶች ናቸው። እና አሁን ጋይዳችንን እየተከተልን ነው። ጋይዳችንን እየተከተልን ነው። ጸጉሩን ደስ ይለኛል፣ ምክንያቱም በደንብ መከታተል ፈልጋለሁ።
I want to make sure you're in the right drawer, so if I have your ticket, or if you're checked in with me, that's good. Other than that, we will begin, and I'll say, hear ye, hear ye, hear ye. Welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome to Boston's Freedom Trail. What is the Freedom Trail? Well, it's this red line on the sidewalk. Sometimes it's painted red. Sometimes it's a double brick line. It starts here on the Boston Common, and it goes over to the Bunker Hill Monument in Charlestown, 2.5 miles away, connecting 16 historic sites, all having to do with the quest for freedom, thus the Freedom Trail. On our tour today, we are not walking the 2.5 miles. We're doing about 14 or 15 miles only. Thank you. My first attempt at humor. Be careful, there may be more attempts. Actually, we're doing less than 1 mile. From here to Fennel Hall. Hopefully we can bring some history to life. I am your guide today. My name is James Otis, the famous
Jay.
patriot.
Hi, Jay.
Thank you.
Very
You've all
welcome.
heard of James Otis, I'm
Thanks
sure.
for the elevator.
And that joke has its ups and downs. But that actually is a great descendant. We'll hear about James Otis later on. But a great descendant. You've heard of Paul Revere? Oh, sure. Paul Revere gets all the credit. But there are other patriots here, and we'll hear about them along the way. I encourage you to ask questions. If I cannot answer them, and I'm pretty good, but if I cannot answer them, we'll get them answered. We can send them to you. Also, back in the day at a town meeting, if you were in favor of something at a town meeting, you would show your approval by shouting out. And you would shout out the word, huzzah. Let's try that. Huzzah! Huzzah! So every now and then out there on the trail, I'm going to ask you if we're in favor of continuing walking the Freedom Trail. If I get a loud huzzah, I don't ask as much. But if I don't hear any, we'll ask until we get them. And I do like questions. Any questions at this point? Well, then my question to you, are we ready to walk the Freedom Trail? Huzzah! Let's do it. Go ahead in this direction.
Thank you. Okay.
Well, that was our Freedom Trail walk. On behalf of the Freedom Trail, thank you for coming on today. That was my second attempt. Stop number 1, Boston Common. This is the oldest public park in the country. Boston Common is the oldest public park in the country. Founded by Puritans, 1634. These Puritans first came here in 1630, coming over from England to get away from the Church of England. These Puritans are Protestants. They want to get away from the Anglican Church and away from the Catholics. They came here in 1630, 1634 they founded this common ground. Now these Puritans are not to be confused with Pilgrims who arrived earlier on the Mayflower. Two separate groups. Both of them Protestant, both of them coming here to get away from the Church of England and the Catholics. You're in this colony, you do not have a choice. You're a Puritan or you're not welcome. Puritans ruled for about 50 years. There's no Puritan faith today. In about 10 minutes we'll see the church where they evolved into. But keep in mind, you're in this colony, you're a Puritan or you're not welcome. They ruled for about 50, 60 years. Very, very strictly. They were very religious. You are required to be in church on Sunday. You went to church for 6 hours. 3 hours in the morning, you went home and had dinner. Back to church for 3 more hours in the afternoon. You're not in church, better be on your deathbed. That could be a whipping offense. Wednesday evening was Bible study. But every day, you are memorizing your commandments. Do not get caught not knowing your commandments. Do not hesitate. If you hesitate for too long, they'll put you in the stocks. And they will ask you. The elders of the town, randomly, periodically, they'll ask you to recite 1 or 2 of the commandments. If you don't know it, you're going to end up in the stocks until you do know it. So if they ask you, do not hesitate for a moment. What's the 6th commandment? That's too late. Too late.
I'm already there. It's fine.
You're in there.
We're
yeah.
good.
You'll stay in there for about 8 to 10 hours, not necessarily overnight, but you'll be in the stocks. So again, they ruled for about 50 years. When they first came here, they used this area to graze cattle and sheep. But we also had the gallows here. We had public hangings on Boston Common. Public hangings. That's like reality TV today. That's entertainment back in the day. People came out to view public hanging. Now, what's some of the groups of people that might have been hanged on Boston Common? How about witches? How about pirates? Murderers? And Quakers? Quakers! Quakers are a religious Protestant group, peaceful. Why were they hanged? They were not Puritan. You come here, you're not a Puritan, you're not welcome. You're banished from town. You do get a break. You'll go to trial. At the trial, you'll have an opportunity to convert. If you don't, most people don't, they're banished from town. If you come back again, there's going to be another trial. At that second trial, they'll put you in the stocks with her. They'll put you in the stocks and then banish you from town. Come back again. The third one's a charm. They will hang you in Boston Common. So again, keep in mind, you're in this colony, you don't have a choice. So today, there's no more public hangings, thank God. But there is public speaking. When the British soldiers first came here, put us under occupation because of the riots and the speech over taxes. We'll talk about those taxes later on. Those British soldiers camped here on Boston Common. our own militia trained here at a different time. And we also had public duels on Boston Common, with swords, with pistols, ending in death on Boston Common. We had celebrations and parades. Martin Luther King Jr. spoke on Boston Common 1965. Spoke right here in front of the State House. Pope John Paul II, the first mass given in the United States by Pope John Paul II, was given here on Boston Common October 1st, 1979. Today this is 44 acres of common ground, 44 acres. It was 50 acres at one time. It won't get any smaller. The other 6 acres went for the burial ground behind that church where Paul Revere is buried. We'll be there in about 10 minutes. So this is stop number 1. Today, again, we have demonstrations against politicians. We have demonstrations against the wars. We have free Shakespeare in the Park every year, and free music concerts, and public speaking. In other words, if you have something to say, if you have an issue, you can speak on Boston Common. You'll need to get a permit. You'll need to pay a fee, but they will let you speak on Boston Common. This is stop number 1, Boston Common. We're not going to go far. We're going to go over here and talk about stop number 2. From here, we're looking up at stop number 2, which is the new State House. I say new State House because we will visit the old State House later on. Our new State House is the Capitol building and one of the sites on the Freedom Trail. Our new State House was built in 1797. Cornerstone was laid by Paul Revere and our governor at the time, Samuel Adams. We look on top, we see that dome.